Hello and welcome, I'm Mystical, this is Mystical Gaming and we are in Watcher of Realms. This is my Gear Raid 3 stage 18 run. It's the first time I've cleared it. This is the team I used and the strategy I went for. I'm going to take you through the champions I used, why I picked them and how the run went and improvements I think you could do. For all the Gear Raid 8 stage 18s, I think this was probably the hardest of them all. It required me to have more champions at level 60 and full gear run-ups and that sort of thing, whereas previous ones I've managed to get away with having relatively bad gear. The gear's not fantastic on these by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a lot better than the other gear rates. So let's take you through the team. Now for Gear Raid 3 you want to be using archers as they do more damage than mages in this fight, and also you want at least 2 of them to be AoE damage dealers. Now I've used 5 archers in total, 2 of which are AoE, and I've used 2 healers, one of whom was Vortex, general healing, and the healing isn't massive in this fight. It's not a big consideration, or I didn't feel it was, and I've used Hollow as well for her healing, but also for her rage regen as well. I found that most useful. On top of that I've used Daylan to go down almost first as a cost regeneration purpose for me, and then once I've got all the team members down, that's her done. I've also used Pyros in this team as well. He's solely there to give the boost as a Lord for the stats to Setram and Dolores. Pyros was really the only Lord bonus that made any help for me. I would have liked the Piercer Lord to give that extra range. That would have been ideal. I think that would make it a lot easier and definitely worthwhile putting in there should you get them. But that wasn't an option for me. Now as we get into the fight, Setram's down first, facing up the screen. He's got a nice long range, deals a massive amount of damage. He is absolutely brilliant and has been pretty much a hard carry for my account since I got him. Now the next one down, Dylan. Now she's there to give up some more cost back to ourselves. We'll go over her and her ability afterwards, and then Calypso is down. Now the first of my healers goes down, Vortex, because otherwise Calypso would be dead. I hit the ultimate with Setram shortly after the warning. The important thing is there's enough there for Setram to kill all 6 of those initial starting adds. We place Maul down as soon as we can because we want to start building towards his ultimate as quickly as possible. He goes down to cover the right hand side of the map with his AoE, and then as soon as we've got Nyx available, she goes down on the left hand side of the map to cover off that side with her AoE. After that it's just a matter of putting down Hollow, get her down, Dolores down, recall Dylan because we don't need her anymore, and then Idril goes down to give us a little extra DPS. As we see, we do have a bit more trouble with the left hand side than we do the right, so that's why she's been placed more towards the left hand side. Now with everyone down, we just wait on the ultimates kicking off. So Hollows comes up first, we trigger that. Then Mauls on the right hand side come up. We take out as much of that top wave on the right hand side as we can. Now that Vortex is up, Dolores' ultimate is up next. However, we're waiting on the others to have their ultimates ready to go at the same time. So Nyx's comes up on the left hand side. We trigger hers to do the mobs on the left hand side. Then it's Dolores, Idril and Setram all have theirs triggered together because they benefit from Dolores' ultimate, and now it's a matter of smashing down as many mobs as we can, and that's the first sort of cycle of waves done. We don't get the boss down, but that's no great biggie. We're happy with our front runners that they can actually take on the mobs that he produces, and the healing isn't that bad for this anyway, so there's no great issues there. Our biggest issue is the adds on the right and the left, the amount they build up and how quickly we can take them down. So with Maul's ultimate up again, as the next wave come in, we wait for the wave to be fully in, then we trigger his ultimate. Now this is the issue we have with the left hand side. The mobs on the left hand side have already arrived and Nyx's ultimate is quite a long way off. So what we're trying to do is, as soon as Hollows is up, we trigger Hollows to try and get some rage regen going, and we want the mobs down as quickly as possible. So as soon as Nyx's ultimate is up, we trigger that off. We're waiting on set trams as well, just to try and get the loose couple of stragglers from that group on the left hand side killed. And once we've got them, we're in a relatively good place. So that's Nyx's ultimate triggered. She takes out the bulk of the group on the left hand side, although misses a few. This is where Setram comes in, takes out those last couple. Now Nyx's ultimate, for being so long, is still on when the next group comes in. So she's still triggering her ultimate on the left hand side as the new group approaches. But now the boss is down, that leaves our two central characters with enough time to start taking out the groups left and right to add for that DPS. Now the fight is pretty much done now. We've just got to not do anything stupid like let one past for any crazy reason. Last ultimate from Mole, that takes out the bulk from the right hand side. Now a quick look at the top, we've got 3 mobs left to kill, and it's just slow time watching them come in until we get them killed. Now once that's done, it is just to make sure that we do get it 3-starred and we have cleared the level properly. So that's the fight done, there's the victory, fully cleared, full auto now enabled for us, the fight has been uploaded, and it's just a matter of going back now and checking that we can actually run on full auto, and it does do the run for us. There's the power of dominance, that's up there now, which should make the fight a lot easier for us, and it's just one quick auto battle just to make sure nothing goes wrong or there aren't any issues while everything's still fresh in my mind before I forget on how I done it, and then I've got to go through the whole thing again. So here we go, speed run going through, absolutely no worries with that, and that's all done. So like I said, this was the hardest of the gear raid stage 18s that I've done. Here's Setram's gear, pretty much fully maxed out his gear, all 16 plus. It's not brilliant gear, but it has all been leveled up to 16 to squeeze every last bit out of it I can. I've got its crit rate and its crit damage up as far as I can get it. It's not perfect, but there are 1 or 2 good pieces of gear on there, and there's probably 1 or 2 fairly terrible pieces of gear on there as well. But that's Setram. Oh, and lastly, actually, his artifact. There we go. I could have probably done a bit more with the artifact and pushed that a bit further for a bit more power out of him. There's Calypso, the other main DPS that I was using, both at the front. Her gear is pretty much maxed out as well. It's not as good as Setram's. He does have the best of the gear that I've got available for him, although that is a nice piece with a crit rate roll, and the rest of it's fairly disastrous. But at the moment, most of my gear is attack percentage with crit rate attached to it, so that's as good as my gear is getting at the moment. Her artifact, again, there we go, it's not brilliant, but it's where we are in the game and it does the job. Now as we go on, here's Nyx. Her gear is less good than the others. In fact, not all of it is leveled up to 16, so she's got a few pieces of level 12 because you don't need to roll everything up, do you? Just trying to save a bit of gold as I go through. The good pieces do get rolled up, there we go, all purples across the board there. And I don't have any, I have very few sets on anyone, I think. I literally just go for, I want attack percentage and I want as much crit rate as possible. If that made a set, then that would be good. I've got an epic artifact on her because it just gives her a bit more bonus to attack when she kills people, and she is going to kill people because she's attacking that group of mobs. So the group of mobs, when one of them dies, she's going to get a bonus to her attack and she is going to kill them off quite quickly. So here's Maul, absolutely fantastic AoE marksman. I know I called him archers at the beginning of the video, sorry about that for those people who are going to get worried about it. I meant marksman. Most of his gear is level 12 and most of it is legendary and not mythic, but you go with what you've got. Now I put him up to 60 and 6-starred. You might get away with him being 50 if you had better gear on him. It'd be a choice between the two for you. Now Awakening, I didn't do the last Awakening because it was a -5 cost. If you want to, or you feel you need that extra cost reduction, by all means go for that with him. This is Vortex. I haven't awakened him at all, solely because I used the other one for the Abomination Fusion. So that's what we've got. I got the healer artifact that I've pretty much only just got, and then his gear is pretty trash, but the healing isn't that hard in here. It's not a hard healing fight, or at least I didn't think so, and his gear isn't that good. In fact, it's pretty atrocious, really. Wow, there could be a lot of upgrade in there, a lot. Still, never mind. That's Vortex. That's his gear. It's absolutely appalling, but there you go. It works for this. As we say, not a big healing fight. Hollow has got mildly better gear than that, and she is awakened all the way up because I quite like her awakening 5, and I had the shards to do it. Now her gear is better and she's rolled up, but mostly I'm just after that regen that she gives so I could get through the ultimates quicker. Last but not least, here's the lane. She was being used for her rebel skill, restores 15 cost for all allies every 25 seconds, and that's the reason we were using her, to get the cost back so we could regenerate our heroes and get them on the map as quickly as possible. Now the only thing I had to do with her was make her survivable for 1 or 2 hits from the boss. Now bear in mind, when you're building her, you can either level her up, promote her, or what I did is I stuck flat stat pieces on her because you get more from them than a percentage because her base stats at the moment are so low. So either level her up or flat stats, that's where you want to put them, because I get more than 100% on a flat stat defensive piece than I do from rolling one up. Okay, thank you very much for that. I hope this has helped you. If there's any questions, put them in the comments below. If you'd like to see any other videos from me, put them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you very much for your time. Thanks, bye.